Geek Myths, a novel about life, love, and the pursuit of sonic screwdrivers. Available in paperback and Kindle edition from Amazon.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog Podcast. As you can clearly hear, my voice sounds marvellous, which in reality means I've got yet another chest infection. Yay, the excitement. But today I'll be talking about Fugitive of the Judoon. Ah, yes. Because everyone just thought, oh look, a mid-season romp with the Judoon. What could possibly be exciting? Why is there an advert telling me that it's going to be the most exciting episode of all time? And you know what? This is the most important Doctor Who episode for 2 years. And also, it's not even the most impressive Doctor Who story of this week. Bear with. Yes, the internet had a bit of a meltdown and their heads exploded and all of that nonsense, and I'll cover that in a moment. But this week, from Big Finish, was also the Dark Universe release from the main range with Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred, with the mature Sophie, perfectly timed to balance her book, and the release of the new Blu-ray box set. This is one of the best Doctor Who stories in a very, very long time. So that is the best Doctor Who story of this week. So I will now review the second best Doctor Who story of the week, Fugitive of the Judoon. How come nobody's taken to calling her Dr. Ruth? Yes, it's the woman from the Tesco's posters, but that's fine. And I know the whole Dr. Ruth thing from the 80s. Oh yes, a tiny little German woman, I believe. She used to be on lots of chat shows. Right. Let's deal with the electrocuted elephant in the room. The Ruth Doctor. Let's look at the evidence and tick things off. Now, Sherlock Holmes does things by deduction, except of course he doesn't. What he does is things by reduction. Bear with while I explain. He takes some facts and works out what can't be true, reducing it down to the bare minimum so you end up with what can only be the truth. Let's look at the evidence. You've got a very 60s TARDIS, you've got a very 60s affair, you've got a very 60s look. We have categorical proof that this is the Doctor. We've also been told by Mr. Chibbers that this is definitely the Doctor. Yes, we've got the alternative Doctor theories. There's reasons why that shouldn't really come into play. Reason number one is that it would just confuse matters and it would cheapen her existence. Oh, she doesn't really count. It's another woman. Oh, she's black. All that nonsense. No. Gotta be a real Doctor. Yeah? Okay. During the script, the name on the script is 3. I'll get back to this one in a minute. It's very, very important. So they're the facts. We've also got the one where she goes, oh, yes, I recognise the sonic screwdriver, but I don't use it. I'm cleverer than that. Yeah. So, you're then left with a handful of other possibilities. Possibility number 1, she is a pre-Hartnell Doctor. Now, if it hadn't have been for several things, number 1, hi, I'm Chris Eccleston. I don't want to be in Doctor Who anymore. Therefore, you, Mr. Moffat, are going to have to come up with some lovely plan in order to have something else happen in your special anniversary special. Is John Hurt available? Yes. Well, we'll cram a Doctor in. We'll call him Number War. And everyone will have to accept that. Oh, by the way, it's John Hurt. Yeah. John Hurt, I know. So we've got that, and that'll fit in, and it'll all be all fine and fantastic and dandy. And is everyone accepting that one? Yeah? Yeah? No? Yeah? Yeah, you're all accepting that one. Now you are. Because it's a big name, it's an anniversary special, and you've got no choice in the matter. But everyone still counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah? Thanks, Chris. Oh, look, you've opened up a gateway to allow stuff like this to happen again. Now, on screen, the only regeneration that we've never really seen is the gap between 2 and 3. In reality, there's been, and I'm not using the word reality very often, we had a whole Series 6B theory, which is where the second Doctor, during his trial, was actually allowed to do some work for the CIA. This is where the two Doctors storyline comes from. Now, we've got a storyline happening in our current series that says, there might be something going on with the Timeless Child, something about early Gallifrey. I don't know what's going on there. So, you're looking at something that's been removed from the Doctor's history and has resulted in everyone forgetting. Well, the existence of another Doctor post-trial, but, replacing John Pertwee as a third Doctor, turning him into the fourth Doctor? Yeah, that makes most sense here. Something that will eventually be removed from time with the celebrity mind wipe, so that everyone forgets this Doctor, which is a bit pants, I know. Now, the internet is not the nicest of places sometimes. We're all very happy with the costume, with the casting, it's marvellous. We're very accepting. Of course, some people are going, oh, she's a much better Doctor than Jodie. Can we have her instead? That just makes everyone sad and cross. Oh, but her TARDIS is so much nicer, and I'm not going to argue on that one. It just is. But their costume's better. Yeah, I know. It's all beautifully perfect. Oh, but then you've got the sonic screwdriver. The second Doctor used it from time to time, but not massively. It was a third Doctor thing. It would be lovely if Jodie manages to patch up a third Doctor Sonic and pass one over. That would be great. Just before the regeneration. Because let's face it, in that first Auton story, Pertwee's Doctor is a bit all over the place. And like I said, we didn't see any regeneration. Could it be before Hartnell? Well, that does make some logical narrative sense. Doesn't know what the sonic screwdriver is? Yes. But the TARDIS is in the shape of a police box. But it gets stuck in the shape of a police box in 1963 in the Unearthly Child, which means that this movie must have enough. Oh no, it's a chameleon circuit. It could have taken that shape beforehand and then moved out of that shape at a later date. Here's the thing. They're saying that Lee is also a Time Lord. I'm thinking not. I'm thinking Lee is part of the Special Space Service. I'm reckoning Lee is the Martha of this story and knew the truth all along and was the guardian, the faithful companion, as he's called in this story. He knew exactly what was going on. That's why he looks so nervous all the time. He knows the truth. He hasn't had a chameleon arch thing going on at all. He was just there trying to protect everyone. He knew the truth all along. So, that's the storyline. Yes, you've got other stuff going on. You've got things... You knew something was going on as soon as somebody who's got a house with a light on the top. Should have been a giveaway then. Buried parents on private land. Have you tried doing that in the UK? That's not going to happen. Bury their ashes, by all means, but you can't bury a body. Not on your own land. And conjures up all sorts of problems. So yeah, there are tiny things to mention in general, because you thought the story was something else at the beginning. You thought the story was things like, oh, it's a little old lady with some knitting. She stuck out like a sore thumb and I don't know why. But of course, halfway through the story, you didn't know any of this Ruth business. Halfway through the story, all you knew was that Jack was back with his 2005 hair. And if you've seen what, John Barrowman looks like these days, that was a really impressive piece of work. Yes, I know he had to pretend that he was doing some work on his house in order to get the recording done, but that was just great. Now, I spoke to the Not We at work, and a couple of them said the same thing. It just feels a bit like fan fiction. And I can see the argument. Oh yeah, we've had that bit from the special where somebody uses the chameleon art, and we've had that bit where somebody is a missing doctor from the past, and that's fine. And let's tick some PC boxes and we'll have that, yeah. And no. This is the most impressive Doctor Who series on TV in 2 years. It needs to be there. Yes, we don't know lots and lots of things. But I don't mind. Jack's back. And do you know what my wife's comment on the whole episode was? The only thing that mattered to her, the only thing that even remotely sparked her interest, was that the Judoon have got slightly different boots from last time. Now that's the house I'm living in. Yes, there are things to talk about this month. There are things to talk about this week, because on Friday, apparently, the UK leaves the EU. This will make me incredibly sad, as you know. I'm very, very worried about the behaviour on the streets on Friday. But then you watch the international news and you discover that Space Force has used the Blake 7 logo because there's nothing screams marvellous outgoing world-like camouflage in space using Serverland's forces. Also this week, we had Star Trek Picard arrive on our screens. Now, here's a question, and I'd like you to answer this either on the Twitter handle, that's at TinDogPodcast, or even emailing me directly. Shall I do reviews of Picard? Would that even remotely interest you? Separate shows, it wouldn't interfere with Doctor Who. I'm just interested in knowing what you think. So, I'm going to fade away now and let you make up your own mind, because that's what this is really about. So until next time, when I'm probably going to be talking about Doctor Who, be seeing you.
That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.